I'm ready to go.
Well, the best part of the high school football season is officially here, the chase for a state championship. Now, last year, just one local team made it all the way to the title game, the Rains Vikings. And this year, they look ready for another deep playoff run. Justin, let's get right to it. Who is advancing to the postseason?
We got a lot of teams, a lot of ground to cover. Playoff brackets released earlier this afternoon, and always one of my most favorite times of the year. It's playoff bracket reveal time. And as we kind of step out of the way here, not a lot of big teams in Region 1-7A. Creekside is really the only local team that is in there. They have an unbeaten to land right off the top, so it's going to be a tough 4A into the Class 7A playoffs for the Creekside Knights. Let's head over to 6A. Yeah, this is a pretty interesting region right here. And the reason why, it is tough. It is slam-packed with local teams. Buchholz is standing at the top at that number 1 seed playing Oviedo, but as we look down, we've got Nice and Oakleaf in a great all-local game. Nice is the number 4 seed, so the higher seed team obviously hosts, and this is a rematch of a second-round game last year, which Oakleaf knocked out Nice. And as we turn over and look to the other side, yeah, we got Mandarin here in the state playoffs, and number 2 seed. They are opening up the playoffs against the Crestview Bulldogs over at the Corral. Remember, all games are next Friday night. Go into Region 1-5A. Yeah, we got another slam-packed local region. Pontbriand, even though it's not a district champion, it earned the number 1 seed in Region 1-5A. They host Niceville next Friday night. Beachside district champion. They won that district championship on Tuesday night over Fleming Island. They lock in a number 4 seed, so we could possibly get a Pontbriand and Beachside rematch of the regular season game in round 2. Be a tough game against Milton, though, in the opener. And the other one here we have Middleburg. It took a number 7 seed and squeezed out Fleming Island from the state playoffs. Tough one. They're going to Mainland in the opening round of the playoffs. But Middleburg is 8-2, first 8-2 regular season since all the way back in 1990. As we get further down into the playoff brackets, St. Augustine earned a number 1 seed. A little bit surprising because they last week they entered the final week of the regular season with that number 2 seed in the state playoffs, but they ascend. Even though they lost to Mandarin in the Week 11 finale, they are the number 1 seed, a threat to get back to the state Final Four. Ed White, the highest scoring team in state history. Congratulations to them. 537 points this year in 10 games. They have a home game against Pensacola Pine Forest and potentially a second-round game against St. Augustine. Like last year, St. Augustine won that game. Okay, as we go over, only one other local team here down the bottom of the 1-4A bracket. That's Columbia. They're hosting Tallahassee Ricketts. Let's head on over into Region 1-3A. Of course, there's those Rains Vikings we've talked a lot about. They are starting it off where they started last year. Number 1 seed in Region 1-3A. And an all-local matchup for the Rains Vikings. They get Baker County in round 1, looking to start their march back to that championship game. 8-2 Yulee, that home game against West Florida, best season in Yulee program history, continues with the home playoff game. And then last in here in this region, Bishop Kennedy. Surprising, but they did drop 1 spot. They were a number 2 seed last week. They come in at number 3 in the playoff bracket. They open against Wakulla in the first round. As we march on down, another number 1 seed. Bowles, no surprise there. They have been locked into that number 1 seed for a little bit of time in Region 1-2A. They're hosting Walton in the first round, should roll right on through that one. Baldwin had a great regular season, 7-3. They are on the road at Florida High. Should be a good one. Baldwin has got some really, really good offense for head coach Don Velvet. And the other teams here, those are all teams out of our area, but something to pay attention to as we get into that regional final round. As we head into Region 2-2A, only one team to worry about here, Bradford. They moved up from the last rankings. They were a number 2 seed. They climbed to number 1, and I think this is Bradford's region to lose. But pay attention to that Villages charter. That could be a Bradford opponent in the second round, and Villages held that number 1 spot in the region for a point this season. So other teams not necessarily to worry about right now, but Cocoa, very, very good team, reigning state champion. You got to watch out for the Tigers come regional final time if you're Bradford. And then sliding down to our last region, our last number 1 team. We have 5 teams that are seeded number 1 in the state playoffs, and University Christian, really good season for Coach David Penland III and the Christians. They will start at home against Trinity Catholic, and really good other local matchups here in Region 1-1A. Episcopal hosting Impact Christian in a battle of 7-3 teams. And on the other side of the bracket, We talked about this all season long. UC, Trinity Christian, I think they're going to collide in the state playoff. Trinity opened it up with Providence. Providence moved up from that number 8 seed up a spot to get into the postseason. Tough one against Trinity Christian. Let's hear it for NFEI and head coach Jamal Fudge. They are in the postseason. They're going over to Tallahassee McClay in that first round. So there you have it. All the teams, playoff brackets announced, and man, it is postseason time. It is starting up here. Yeah, the wall of playoff teams. All these teams on the screen are heading to the playoffs. Games start next week. And of course, the Florida Invitational Tournament, the new tournament that's for the teams who did not make the postseason. Fletcher got a number 1 seed in there. We got teams like Bartram Trail, Wolfson, Jackson, First Coast. All those teams are in there as well. So playoff football is here, and it is starting next week.
As we wrap up the high school football playoffs, which teams do you think will be playing for a state championship, possibly even winning the title?
Man, if I had my laser pointer, I could point to them right now, but I do not have it. I think Range is going to be there. I think Bowles is going to be there. And I think we could have one more team, maybe a Mandarin. Mandarin's really got a tough, difficult region in 1-6A with Gainesville-Buchholz. Buchholz has made the state semifinals 4 consecutive times, but Mandarin is really, really good. 9-1 Mandarin. Ponte Vedra's got a shot to get to the state semifinals, but I'm going to say 2 state championship teams this year. Don't know if they'll win, but if I'm on the spot right now looking at the brackets, I think Rains and Bowles will play for titles.
Okay, well, thank you, Justin, of course.